Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Marianne and you're watching Marianne's Mystic Mentions. Welcome to the first half of the month of November readings, and welcome new and returning viewers. I love each and every one of you. For the new viewers, a very short little intro. I do a featured reading for every single sign of the zodiac twice a month. And the featured sign, of course, has the most predominance and the reading is catered to. I then pick a spiritually guided highlighted connection for you. And that's a person or a feeling or an energy of that particular sign that's very important for some reason that Spirit wants you to know about. You may understand that and resonate instantly, or it may take some time, like a lot of the energies. It affects all of us sometimes differently, but there's that underlying, feeling. It's there. Should we choose to recognize it and utilize it and all the other beautiful things about the energies of life. And then I read 4 major categories for this highlighted connection, as well as every one of your love connections, because it's all inclusive and all encompassing when it comes to love. And then I finish with the oracle divinations that are incredibly uplifting and empowering and sent from love and nothing else but love. So hopefully you'll stick around for the entirety of this reading, and we'll get right with it. So I do want to say right off the bat, I always usually start my readings for the beginning of the month and the second half of the month with Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, and then go in accordance in order of the astrology year. However, the last 2 readings, so that would have been the end of the month of October and the beginning, when I went to upload Pisces, the last sign, the last reading, it just was not happening. And I just continued to try, and it took 4 days. 4 days for the universe to allow me to upload the Pisces reading. And I have a Pisces rising, so I'm right there with you. I love you and appreciate you and understand what's happening. I also know that 5+ planets were retrograde, in addition to Mercury, which is very, very much a part of technology. And when it's in retrograde, you can definitely have some delays and mix up, and scheduling is changed. Communication is crazy. Hopefully that's improving because really we're in the shadow period as well with Mercury retrograde in Libra until about the first of the month of November. But it's still definitely improving. I felt an amazing different energy going forth. We did have a very, very powerful full moon in Aries. I'm recording these the last week of October. So we are officially in Scorpio season, which is your fellow water sign, Pisces. So my point is I'm going to be reading for Pisces as the featured sign first, and then ending with Aquarius, because you deserve it. And I just really feel very, very indebted to you. Okay, so let us first pick your highlighted connection that Spirit wants you to know about. I always do this right in front of you. It's very fresh, and it's just genuinely something that's you might want to be aware of. Everyone's a little different. I also want to say I also recommend that the sun sign, Pisces, moon, rising, or Venus certainly can get something out of these readings. Everybody does. That's the thing about it. Every sign can. It's catered and featured for Pisces of all those placements, or even more. However, it involves all of the relationships of that featured sign. So hence the love connection readings. Okay, so what do we have for you, beautiful Pisces, the first week, or first half I should say, of November? Powerful, powerful month. The beginning and the second half, once again, is going to be quite a bit different. And you have Cancer. Yay! Your fellow, that's like a triad. So your highlighted is about your other fellow water sign, Cancer, which is a beautiful harmonizing kind of energy fundamentally, because you understand life and you see and you feel things literally and figuratively in a similar way, which is more of a compatible energy. There's no getting around that. The same sign energies or elements, as well as a couple other combinations are better than others, but they all work. We can get along with everybody. We just recognize our differences and hopefully work with them and appreciate them for what they are, and grow from them. So yeah, I love that right off the bat. And then being in Scorpio season now, from the Libra season to Scorpio, there's a definite difference in the energy. Libra being the balance and the scales and the, which, by the way, we still have Mars in Libra and Mercury. And so you're still going to be feeling that pull of wanting to really be very aware of other people's positions, you know, being very diplomatic and caring, which of course I think you are anyway, naturally. Knowing your boundaries, though, and that balance there is essential, because that tends to be something that you learn as a Piscean throughout your life. People are drawn to you and your incredible love and light and self-sacrificing side, which could be taken, you know, out of context at times. And I'll leave it that simple, because I like everything to be brought in the higher energy, positive levels with my reading whenever possible. You are a dreamer and you're incredibly creative. And you also, once again, have prophetic, you know, tendencies and psychic abilities. You definitely have been known to be one of the more empathic signs, whereby you feel and take on people's pain and energies, whether for good or for worse. Also happening with your fellow, you know, water sign and your highlighted connection of Cancer. So you may be involved right now. You must have friends. I've never known since I was 12, studying the compatibility. I'm a compatibility enthusiast in astrology, is what I call it. But I'm sure you have a lot of, you know, relationships throughout your life, and will continue with Cancers in one form or another, family, work, whatever it may be. Because there is that kind of a pull towards each other. Now, you know, Cancers ruled by the moon. You are more modernly ruled by Neptune, but you're historically you are ruled by Jupiter. And this is beautiful, because doggone it, this year has had some challenges for the water signs and all of us, of course. We're still working through life and what's happened, but it's coming along. And it's a 5-year, it's for the challenges, it's to move forward, to continue to think about what we really want to do and focus on that. And that's exactly what Scorpio is about. It's a very determined, intense, transformational sign that's deep and you know, and emotional. It's raw, you know, they're fixed, they're set about things, there's black and white kind of feelings about it, but it's passion and it's sensuality, it's sexuality. And you know, the Libra with Venus being their ruling planet, still very much in the mix, is bringing that to a forefront as well. So I feel a love and a sense of amazing fulfillment emotionally in some capacity for you. And it doesn't have to be romance, like I said, but it's a beautiful, beautiful combination and energy that I'm feeling from this in the month of Scorpio. Mind you, there will be a new moon on the 4th. So do write your intentions, do put forth the energies you want, Pisces, because you are a manifester and you are known for being one of the most spiritual signs. So utilize that, because certainly through the end of October and even the beginning of November, there's a thinner veil, as they say, so there's a lot more tendency to want something, wish for something, put out a manifestation and have it appear extremely quickly. So that's a beautiful thing. And you do have Jupiter coming into your sign on, I believe, December 28th, 29th. So it's going to be predominantly in your sign next year, and it's going to be phenomenal in so many ways. So I'm excited, because I think you need that, because, you know, little things are coming up and down, and you are used to it, you get it, you work through it, you set time for yourself to be still and to do the prayers and to know that there's beauty in everything in life. And I think you're really, really focusing on that, probably more than you have in a long time. I know that I have. I took a drive today. We had an incredible storm over the weekend with rain we haven't had for months. And I just felt so blessed, and it saturated the earth, and it's showing more of the colors for the beautiful fall here in Northern America. And I just, yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's all really incredibly, it's all gifts, it's all blessings. So I'm going to go on with the reading, because I can get a little, you know, long-winded, but I do want to say I'm using one of my favorites, the Gilded Tarot, for the 4 major category messages. And then I'm going to mention the other oracles as I go along. So the first category is always the overall energy bringing you to the reading today, Pisces. And as I said, I hope you're feeling extremely creative and more energetic and more motivated than you have in a while, all the while realizing you still need time to kind of really digest and meditate or be still and, refuel yourself, because we have eclipses coming November as well, which we'll get to. It'll be the second half of the month, and the second will be on the 24th of December. So we'll talk about those, but those are always about quick changes and, eclipsing things out of your life, starting something new. Just amazing, phenomenal stuff is coming up, okay? So I'm really happy about that. And you can dream, and intentions can be there for you for what you want with that new moon. First card, overall energy. It's amazing. This kind of was, it's following through, although a lot of times it was in reverse. It's the Eight of Swords. So there's that air element. There's the Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So we have Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, extremely powerful planets, stationed forward now. So the power and momentum is building. And it represents, on the one hand, Jupiter, expansive, unchanged, just new opportunities, luck, optimism, dreams, imagination, going crazy, expansion of anything you want, right? And things you may not want, so be aware of that. And then you have Saturn, the restrictive, conforming energy that's just like night and day, right? The balance, the yin and yang of life, okay? And keeping that intact and making sure you don't go necessarily one way too much either side. All the while you've got this these thoughts, because I'll tell you what, even though you're not an air sign, Pisces, you do tend to worry. You want things to be beautiful, but when they're not, you take it on as though you're responsible in some way, right? And you have that kind of feeling about people and nurturing, where you just want to help, you want to cater, you want to do all these things, and it can be exhausting and it can be worrisome in your mind. So this is a definite sign to remember. Your thoughts become things. You are fully responsible. And what with having Saturn and Aquarius in your 12th house of subconscious and undoing and everything, you're still going through this. And it's going to be that way until it then goes into the first house, which is you, on the 28th, 29th. So there's still things that need to be purged. There's still things that need to be released. And you're almost there. But I'm just saying, just allow that to happen. Give yourself time for fun and, retreat, which is essential for energy building. And you'll be fine. If you notice, there's actually none of this. It looks so constrictive, right? Which is what we can do to ourselves. It's what our mind is capable of doing and allows to have happen sometime. But none of this is actually real, because the blinder, around the eyes can be easily removed. All of the swords are far enough apart that this woman can walk through them. And so it's a self-made prophecy a lot of times. It's concerns maybe about things that have already happened or things you're not sure coming up, because there's a lot of energies you're already feeling. And you can definitely predict and have, like I said, prophetic dreams and things. I know this about most of the water signs, you in particular as well. However, you're still at a point where, because of Neptune, that's been in your sign for a long time and will remain there, that's a kind of a hidden fogginess that's still there with you. And so, as strong and as intuitive as you are, it's still kind of, you're questioning things. You need to actually be more still if possible, and absolutely trust, which I know you do. You know all of these things. I'm just, singing to the choir, as it were. I just need you to really recognize that those worries and things, I think you've gotten better at it. I know that I work at it daily. They can be easily remedied, and you can just focus on what you truly, truly want. And that's what it's reminding you to do, okay, for the second half, because it just seems like a whirlwind as far as the energies. Things are moving far quicker. It's just about allowing it and to alleviate those worries that nobody's really 100% sure of, as to what may be the answers. And a lot of times It is about things from the past. So that's what we use as an example for our future, but that's not how it works. Not at all. So that's coming into it, okay? Let's see what these possible blessings or obstacle is for you as we go along with the narrative for the first half of the month of November. The Emperor. Okay, well, this goes from, kind of worry and concern and, unclear bondage, basically, to the Emperor, the major arcana, the full moon in Aries. This represents Aries. Wow, talk about power. You might be still reverberating from that. I wouldn't be surprised, because that would have been on the 20th of October. It can last 2 weeks, 3 weeks longer. It just depends. And that was very positive in many ways. And it did, it was opposition of Libra, the relationship aspects. So a lot of relationships were affected and talks were had, and maybe some confliction. We're not, fire signs have this ability to be very, very, straightforward, honest, just this is where it's at. And it can be harsh to some that are more sensitive, like yourself. And yet it's necessary, because this is a month where truth is going to be revealed in so many ways, in the real world, through the government and so on and so forth, in your own personal life. And I say bring it. That's my own personal feeling. I hope you do as well. Sometimes it's a little bit harder to take on, but this tells me you've got the strength. You're around this kind of energy. You're around, perhaps, paternal in some ways, the masculine energies there. It pertains to, people in charge, and certainly could be government institutions and that sort of thing. On a more personal level, it could be, a spouse or somebody, but there's this very strong energy. And Aries wants to just lead and provide and love, and there's passion, and there's like, let's get it done, man. Let's make this happen. And you really appreciate that. I've known many combinations of Aries and Pisces, by the way, too, because of that duality and the differences in their energy that work extremely well together. But that is what I'm seeing. So it could be, in my mind, a blessing if you're feeling your strength again. What with things moving forward, that full moon lighting upon your life, something that needed to be brought to the surface or brought to your attention to be fixed and healed. And you're a healing sign anyway. So, I want to look at this as an absolute positive. You're getting back your mojo, okay? You're really starting to stand up and feel more confident. Set those boundaries we talked about earlier. Let's move on to the third category, which is finances, or I like to say wealth, whatever you consider wealth. And see what Spirit wants you to know about, or something that may be in the making, right? There's no linear time for these readings, and by the way, it's not an exact. It never has been. I never claim that. But when these messages come through, they're guidance for us. They're opportunities to kind of look at things from a different perspective, which is what you're all about. You're very open-minded to all sorts of, you're mutable signs, so you love changing and opening up and seeing, and there's this part of you that's open, and your heart's open to everyone and everything, and let's just live together in one big, happy, beautiful universe, all the while changing and being like the chameleon, of the zodiac. I did have a card that dropped. Let's just see what's going on with that. Ooh, bam. So your finances says the Ace of Wands. There's that fire again. So it is a positive. You are coming out of, you're emerging is the best way to say it. You are coming out of the fear stage, okay? You're coming out of being isolated. You're coming out of this, not being able to be as communicative, as social, of course. And I mean, there's all different forms and types of Pisceans, but most of the time people love you, and you love connecting and caring and being with people, okay, on some form, some level. And that's been taken away from all of us, but that's changing, and you're coming out again, and it's starting to give you this strength and this power that feels incredibly beautiful to you, because it's in all of us. We just need to bring it out sometimes. And then there's the Ace of Wands. This is sensual. This is magic. This is fire ambition. Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. And by the way, Venus, the beautiful, Venetian planet of love and beauty and money and magic and sensuality, is in Sagittarius. So that's the fire sign, and that's truth, and it's love, and it's optimism, also ruled by Jupiter, like yourself. So fantastic new possibilities, fantastic new strength, fantastic new momentum and spirit and will to do things that you haven't done. Something new, something exciting, something creative, because that's what you are. You're very creative. And could definitely have to do with love, though. Something new, a spark, a new spark in a relationship that's been going on for years. There's a lot of beauty to that beautiful. And so financially, you've got what it takes, whatever this idea is, something new maybe to add to the many other things you may do, because I know how you are, Pisces. You'll try everything and you'll do anything, and you love to live. You're about living, because we know how quick it goes. We understand that all too well. And so you're the old soul in that regard. And so, yes, you've got something up your sleeve and you're really excited about it, and it's going to be starting to show, and you want to bring that out to the public. That's the confidence of Aries. Be that leader. Show people what you got, They won't come to you, and so it could be a YouTube channel. Beautiful, beautiful stuff that's going to really add to your finances. I think what with this intro of what's coming forth and the eclipses, that can just bring in this magic even faster. And then Jupiter in your sign next year. If you're like me, I'm feeling it. I feel that excitement, because I felt what happened during that little stint that we had Jupiter in your sign between July and May, and it was wonderful. It was like a movie, the things that were happening. That's what's coming up. So stay tuned, and congratulations on that as well. So we're just building on that right now. This last category is wishes and surprises and wishes. And as I said, we do have, Uranus is a big, huge part of the energies, with it being the ruling planet of Aquarius, and the fact that it's in the sign of Taurus, and that's going to be the first eclipse at the end of October. And that's a very compatible energy and element for you as an earth sign, and it cements things. So that's what we want. That we want that stability, right? Pisces in particular, up in the sky, up in dream world. You're like, come on down, come on, let's get you down, let's get practical, let's get real, let's get our feet in the ground, and let's plant the seeds of our successes and our dreams and our creative endeavors with every bit of our heart and the passion there behind it. And yet, Uranus can change things in a heartbeat, and it can be phenomenal, and it can be things we never saw coming. And then other times it's like what takes our breath away, and we have to take a minute, we have to take a beat for that to really kind of settle. So there's all sorts of unlimited possibilities, as I always say. Let's see what your surprise and wishes are about. You have the Seven of Pentacles. There's that Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn energy. And after Scorpio becomes Sagittarius, and then it will be the sun season of Capricorn. But it could happen between now and Christmas time, which is Capricorn season through January. I also feel like you're really, really, really giving a lot of thought as to what it is you're doing and how you're making your money, and what matters to you, because you do have enough. I always feel like Pisces always feel like they have enough, to be honest, for the most part. I just feel like you realize it's never ending, and that is the reality of the law of attraction. It's what our mind says that stops that, or our belief systems and things. But you are doing extremely well. You understand the meaning of conserving too, in some ways, more than before with what happened last year and such. So that's being brought to the forefront. We also have the squirrel, which is notoriously known as the spirit animal that does, conserve and put away for a rainy day, literally, and what have you, because it's just something to do, to keep that side of you, that sensible side of you, as dreamlike as you are, and as much as you believe and really believe anything is possible. Keeping that in mind, just making sure that you are content, for heaven's sakes, first and foremost, and knowing that your dreams can come through, and you can be, extremely wealthy in whatever that means to you. And I know you share it with people, and that matters a great deal as well. So I like it. I don't know, but I think whatever this beautiful Ace of Wands for money and, you know, building upon that and inheritance, and that's the 8th house of Scorpio season. So other people's money and, you know, unexpected windfalls and that sort of thing. Stay tuned and let me know, okay? I love it when people share, but you do have to subscribe, I believe, to comment. And that just is about following me. If you like what you're hearing, if you want to support me that way, it's always so very appreciated, and I just want to let you know that. So if you feel it in your heart, please do so. So that's your 4, you know, category readings. I'm going to go on to the oracles, and I did pick for you the beautiful deck of the animal medicine cards because, like everything, you love animals, and I know a lot of people do. And this is just to remind us that the spirit of animals is very much part of our world and essential part of our world, and one that we need to be more and more aware of all the time. And I feel that you are, and just the messages that they bring forth for us to inspire and to show us that, you know, they're here, and we are very much a part of their life. And you have the thank you, Spirit. You have the squirrel. So there you go. And that's what synchronicities are about. And the guidance from Spirit during readings and just everyday life when you ask for it. Preparing and being smart and, you know, saving and investing properly and really giving thought, which is not something that, I'm going to be honest, I mean, you're capable. I'm not saying that. I've known some of the most capable Piscean in all genres of life. But I also want to say that I think if you could, you would prefer that somebody else take care of the paperwork and things like that. It's kind of mundane in a lot of ways, and it's So, but, you know, I do feel like that's coming more into play for you, and you're saying, you know what, I really need to give this some serious thought for your family or whatever the circumstances may be. And it's coming up twice. So, yes, being sure that you are providing for yourself and you have the comforts you need and the security you need, because you cannot rely on other people for that. I mean, a lot of people in my life have helped me so much I can't even tell you, but they're not here anymore, a lot of them, and it still really comes back to us, and it feels better anyway. It really does. So there's that, and then I want to read to you what the book says, specifically because I just love the fact that the squirrel came out for you. It's chipper, and it's, you know, it's likes to roam around, and it likes to be, you know, moving and shaking and things like you do as a mutable sign. I love it. Very cool, but it is in alphabetical order, so let's see what we got going here. I didn't close it properly last time. So the squirrel, ooh, nope, almost. The words associated are faith, generosity, and playfulness. Well, there you go. There you are, my beautiful Pisces. Spritey squirrel tumbles in the grass, scrambles up a fence, and clambers through branches playfully with friends. The roots of squirrel's frolicsome nature is faith in generosity. Every year, squirrel stashes nuts for winter here and there, knowing that come winter, many of the nuts buried will be found by another. It's okay because squirrel finds nuts left by others too. And this is so much who you are. I love this. It's a beautiful analogy for your spirit and your soul. The unfound nuts are thus painted by squirrel, eventually growing into tree homes for their great-grandchildren. That's so cute. Planted, not painted. I'm sorry. I was like, what? But they're planted by squirrels so that they can be eventually found by their grandchildren and stuff. And that's about once again, you know, planning for the future and the security of yourself and others. It's very interesting and beautiful. Very, very congruent with the reading. Squirrel teaches that spinning the wheel of giving and receiving allows for your lighthearted spirit to shine. Sharing and spreading the myriad of forms of wealth and abundance is happiness, and you know that all too well. I love it, and I hope you're not offended by being considered a squirrel type of a, you know, archetype, but I think it's beautiful, and I think what it says expresses it extremely well. So we'll move on to what I'm going to use for the first time, And I just got these, and I love it because these new moons, full moons, and then of course the eclipses are new and full moons on steroids, are really important. And I've always been affected by the moon in some way or another. I feel it, usually way before it, and I feel it and lose sleep and stuff, which is fine, you know, it's okay to lose sleep a day or two. But it's there to just encourage us and to initiate, you know, just these energies of whatever that particular moon characteristics can bring forth for us. So I'm going to pick one just randomly, and this must have significant meaning for you for the first half, before the beautiful new moon in Scorpio, and then the full moon in Taurus at the latter part of the month, which I will read from the second half. Well, I'll tell you what. You're just so much in your energy, and beautiful, wonderful, powerful things are coming your way, because it always happens that way. We all have our time, and balance spirituality and practicality with the full moon in Pisces. They're the two fishes swimming around. So you came up because it's a very, very prominent time for you, and it's a time to reap the joys and the magnificent, you know, manifestations of life. And I'm trying to think. We've already had the full moon in Pisces this year, but I feel that by the next one in 2022 with Jupiter and everything, I think you're going to see things will have changed exponentially in ways that you probably, even your beautiful psychic self, may not have even imagined, because it's always so much better when universe intervenes, right? So that's for you, beautiful Pisces, and you're headed to beautiful, wonderful things. Allow that, right? Allow that. And when you get that part that feels worried and concerned with life in the world, which is totally understandable, please let it go and know as you know. And if you don't, everything works out exactly as it needs to. And we don't necessarily know that in our human form, but I think when you tap into your spirituality, those messages come through for you often, and will continue to, and it's very helpful. I fully understand where you come from about that. So my final message to you is going to be the Super Attractor Manifestation deck, which is one of my faves, and it is about creating the life you choose. And once again, I hope that this upload will be just as simple as possible, because you deserve that. And I apologize again for the ridiculous aspects of spirit sometimes, but you got to go with it. You just got to go with the flow and know it'll work out. You know, maybe not on your time, but it comes out. So your last message is, green, like your heart. Heart-centered, beautiful Pisces. And there's the beautiful green moon, right? It's all beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Kind of a seafoam green, really, like the ocean, water, and such. The emotions of all of us. As soon as I choose to see the light in the dark corners, I redirect my power towards what I want. And that's what you want to focus on, you know. You take it all in, but you want to focus on the positive and the best and the love and the light, and send that out to the universe, because it's going to help everybody. The more of us that do that, the merrier. Love matters. I hope you like your reading so much. I really, really loved reading it for you. And hopefully you'll come back for the second half of November, okay? Until then, my heart's with you. I love you, and be well. Bye for now.